welcome to Charts and Hearts. I'm Sarah, and she's Lindsay.
And together we're working our way through an epic list of rom-coms in order to find and categorize tropes in the hopes of creating the nerdiest spreadsheet podcasts I've ever seen.
And I almost said it was spooky season, but no, it's holiday season. So we are doing holiday movies, and our first one up is Something from Tiffany's.
Hooray!
Hooray! This was like a surprisingly high quality Christmas rom-com.
Yeah, that's why I was excited that we got to put it on the list, because you hadn't seen it before.
Yeah, no, I'd never seen it. I don't think I'd even heard of it.
Yeah, it's like a weird Christmas movie, but on Prime. And I think the weird part is like, I don't think they've done other ones since, or like it's like 2 years old. But you know, like Netflix did
Netflix
one,
does like,
and then they did like 8, and then so they're doing a bunch. So it like they were like, this is the thing that we do now. But Prime was like, we're just gonna do one, and then not.
I wasn't sure if this was officially Prime or if it just was a normal movie that got picked up by Prime.
No, it is officially Prime because it's got like a fancy thing at the beginning about it was like a Prime movie.
Yeah, but like you can tell it's high quality because it was filmed actually in New York where it takes place. It was filmed at least some of it was filmed at Christmas time, like the actual Bryant Park Christmas market.
Yeah. It was filmed the year before it was released, and that's the thing of like,
which is crazy.
It's obviously, it's a Hallmark trope. It's got the Hallmark scaffolding.
Yeah.
Even though it is a book, which I'll talk about in a second, but it is also like it's Netflix. What I've always said is like a step above Hallmark in the quality and the production and stuff, and it's hasn't necessarily stayed there that whole time in its quality, but
on
whatever.
On
average, it has more money than Hallmark. Yeah. And this is definitely like a step above that just in general, but the budget was obviously higher and the quality and just filming
the quality of writing and acting was higher. Yeah. They definitely did not film all of it in the winter because there's lots of scenes where you're like, why are those leaves so autumnal? But in general, it was, surprisingly good. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the book? Because I didn't realize it was a book until halfway through it when I was
so I read it last year after I rewatched this, and it's very different and not that great.
Yeah,
which is it's one of those weird things where you watch a movie that you really enjoy and then you go read the book and you're like, how did this get turned into a movie? It's not.
Is it like just the same sort of premise of?
It is, but it's like so much more. Yeah, like that part's exactly the same. But they're both from England and they were both in New York at Christmas.
Oh,
and then it's
way
like
too convoluted.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like this whole thing of like they're not both in London. One of them is in Suffolk, I think. But I may have just made that up.
Yeah.
And so it's like a whole thing of like traveling. They have to like go to a different city to see each other. So like
that's way more confusing.
They spend way less time together, which is obviously what you want. The douchey boyfriend is way douchier. It's just like it's really convoluted, which is the biggest part. Is like it's so much work for them to meet when they're in New York. It's so much work for them to meet when they're back home. It's like this whole thing of like they have to plan a full trip for them to go to her bakery. Like it's not just let's go there today, haha. Like it's a lot of work and it doesn't give you enough. There's not a good ROI.
Yeah, not as satisfying as this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good to know. So I will not bother. But that's fine. I'm glad it got made into a
Me too, because it's really great.
Yeah. And this, I guess I hadn't really been super familiar other than sort of her name with Zoe Deutsch?
I think, maybe, something like that.
Deutsch? Yeah. Zoe Deutsch? I want to say it Deutsch, but I don't know if that's correct. Yeah, she was fantastic in this. Yeah. And Lindsay has a note here that we'll see her again in January, and I'm like, tell me more, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's one of our January movies is a movie that she was in. You know it. You'll know it if you look at the list.
But yeah, this movie was very enjoyable. Definitely had some quirks, but it was great. Should we do like a very quick plot summary?
Yeah, let's do that because we don't have a lot of other observations and so many tropes.
Oh my god, so many tropes. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do a speed run. Okay, but I'll try to not talk fast. There's a guy. He used to live in New York with his daughter and his wife. His wife died. They moved to LA. I don't know if they were tied together, but both those things happened. he has a girlfriend in LA, and they're doing a Christmas vacation with him and his daughter and the girlfriend back to New York for Christmas. They love New York. The girlfriend hates New York. He's going to propose. And he's also secretly meeting with people to potentially move back to New York and be an author. Yeah, basically. Girlfriend hates New York. As they're coming out of Tiffany's, this other guy is also coming out of Tiffany's, and he is a tattoo artist and has a girlfriend, and he's trying to buy her something from Tiffany's, but also buy her the cheapest thing from Tiffany's. So the two of them, the second guy, the tattoo guy, gets hit by a taxi outside. The main guy, saves him, but doesn't actually save him. Like, he doesn't, like, do CPR or pull him out of a burning bus. It was kind of over-exaggerated. Mm-hmm. Anyways, moving on. They trade Tiffany's bags. Yeah. And so the guy who bought the, like, $300 earrings goes home with the, I'm going to say, like, $20,000 engagement ring. Yeah. It's giant. I don't even know. I don't know how much diamonds cost, but substantially more than an engagement ring. Yeah. Or than these earrings. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then the two couples, so there's the guy and his girlfriend from LA, and they on Christmas morning, like, open each other's Christmas presents and realize, but don't say anything because they're bad at communicating, that the guy who was planning to propose, it's just like these earrings that are fine, and the guy who was planning on giving earrings proposes, except the other hitch is that he has a bit of a concussion and possibly some memory from getting hit by a cab, so he's like, I don't remember, so maybe I did mean to propose. So he kind of isn't at the beginning entirely sure if he had meant to buy an engagement ring. Yeah. Also in all of this, the girlfriend of the guy who was going to be receiving the earrings. Oh man, we need some names.
Yeah, Zoe is the actress's name. We'll just say that. The character's name is Rachel. She is a cook and a baker and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they meet up at the hospital. She meets Ethan, who's the author guy who was planning to propose to Shay Mitchell randomly. And so, yeah, they meet a few times, and, like, there's definitely sparks, and she's a baker and he loves bread, and her mom died when she was little and his wife died when their daughter was little. So, you know, there's, like, lots of common things. And so as things kind of go along, Ethan's trying to get the engagement ring back because obviously he thinks he wants to propose to his girlfriend, and, like, tries to sort of figure out a way to get it back, and asks Rachel, and she's like, oh yeah, my guy's a totally good guy. He doesn't ask her directly because why would you communicate directly in a movie when you can, like, do shenanigans? So he's like, is he a good guy? Like, blah, blah, blah. Would he give money back? And so there's this whole thing about, like, he chased her down at the train station to return an item, which turns out to be false at the end. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, the two of them keep meeting up for various convoluted reasons, and it's convoluted, but there's lots of bakery items and bonding over a cool view of the East River. And then the end result is that she finds out what's been happening. Rachel finds out what's been happening and bakes the ring that she was given into a loaf of bread, and then gives him the loaf of bread. And then his girlfriend, is cutting into the loaf of bread, and the ring pops out, and she's like, oh my gosh! And then they're engaged, except it's weird. And Rachel and her douchey boyfriend decide to be engaged, even though she knows the secret, or knows the truth of that he wasn't planning to propose, and that it wasn't his ring, because she's like, how did you afford this ring? And then there's also a gay best friend and her wife who are the business partners, and there's a New Year's party that was going to be an engagement party, and she manipulates things to get the Ethan and his fiance and daughter reservations at the restaurant that is also the engagement party, and then they come in like the middle of a fight, and everybody breaks up and everything's whatever. And then Ethan and his daughter are still in New York. I don't know what happens to the other people. It doesn't really matter. They go away, and he delivers flowers to the restaurant and hopes that Rachel will come and meet him at the East River. And eventually she does, but she's late because it was really busy at the restaurant. It's the only time it's actually busy at the restaurant. and then, so she comes running, and she got the flowers with the note to meet them at the place if
they think there's something there, and there is, and they have a really good kiss in front of his daughter. And then a year passes, and he proposes in the restaurant the next year on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And there's other, like, sweet parts, but
yeah,
it would be too much. But the ugly Christmas sweaters, the ugly Christmas sweater part, I kind of cried a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Good synopsis. It's an interesting, fun plot.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
a distinct, unique plot.
Yeah, it's Christmassy without being like there's no magic Prince Santa, which is good.
No, there is just so much lack of and miscommunication that it gets a bit annoying.
Yes,
but yeah, it's fine. Yeah, but yeah, I can see how the book would be even more annoying if it was even like more convoluted for them to meet up.
Yeah, it definitely was. And then again, like, I hate douchey boyfriends. Like, obviously that's the thing that we've been talking about this for 2.5 years, but this guy, like, there's definitely parts of this where he's actually okay, which makes me feel weird, but then I remember in the book he's just so much worse.
Well, and I think for so much of the movie until he refuses to give the ring back, you really you don't see him that much. You hear about him, and you know the friend doesn't like him and distrusts him, but Rachel really likes him, so you kind of are like, well, maybe he's okay, maybe he's trying. But then, like he's like, no, it's my ring. Why would I give it back to you? Yeah. And he's kind of an asshole. And then the whole thing of how he initially got together with Rachel comes out of like, she thought that he really went out of his way for her to return a bracelet that she'd left when she was getting a tattoo from him, and like chased her down to the train station. And then it turns out that he just had the bracelet with him and happened to run into her at the train station while he was going to hook up with some other girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then says the amazing line, "Why does it matter we weren't together yet?"
Yeah.
Classic. What a guy.
God. Yeah. It's like, well, because I thought for the last 2 years that you actually like made an effort for me.
Like, did you not figure that out when she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you came all this way to find me"? Like, you weren't together at that point either. Like,
yeah, it was so weird. Okay, so we've got the douchey boyfriend. He's super basic. Really, like, doesn't respect her skills as a chef at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
doesn't respect her time. Awful. But I think. Yeah, the wibbly wobbliness, I think, is just because the actor is kind of charming.
Yeah, he definitely has his moments, and I think the other part,
perspective.
The other part of this is a trope that I've got a couple for down is that Rachel, is so as a tropey person, is so free spirited and happy, and she loves food therefore she's kooky. But that's like the thing that they're going with. A little bit chaotic. Like, she's like, oh my God, she loves cornettos, so isn't she like manic pixie except she's the main character, like that kind of thing. And I think that's part of it, is that she's so kooky and happy and free spirited that she can't see how douchey he is. Like, that's basically how they are spinning it. And I'm just and her sassy down to earth best friend who's also black and gay and quippy, how many tropes can we hit, is the one who like sees the truth. And so like there's like actual stuff underneath all of these tropes of like he is douchey. There are reasons why he's a bad person. There are reasons, like they've been best friends since they were like 7, they say at one point. So like her best friend does know her and does see that this person is not for her, and like there are truths in all of it, but it's just they're covered in so many tropes that it's just it was kind of intense. Okay, on the other side of the equation, so we've got Ethan and his girlfriend, Shay Mitchell, and she's just meh. Like, she's so flat. She's super flat. Her only trope is that she really hates New York, and I think she's like a beauty influencer or something. I don't know, or like a publicist. She's, so she wears makeup and fancy clothes and hates New York. Yeah, and just like so much. Yeah, but agreed to come on a week-long vacation to New York at the busiest time of year. And when the weather is like consistently going to be she's like, terrible. I hate the snow so much. And I'm like, then why? Why?
And also, so this guy Ethan is a writer, and he's in New York and loves New York and is inspired to write, and she's like, you're going to work on our vacation? Like, creative pursuits are so different than normal work. Like, you got to just write when it hits you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was it's one of those ones more tropey of like, why are you with this person? Why did you, as a person who has a secret meeting in New York or whatever, you want to propose to this woman and it's never come up before that she hates New York and the cold and the snow. And you're like, how about I make her come to New York for a week with me? Like, it's just...
Also, you don't keep so many secrets from the person you're proposing to, other than, like, I think it's acceptable to keep, like, a surprise from the person you're going to propose to, but not a secret about the fact that you're trying to change careers and move to New York.
Yeah, move across the country with your daughter and your...
Presumably your future
person
fiancé?
that you want to marry. Yeah, like, it's just... Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. Okay, moving on. We have New York.
Yeah.
It's very New York, without being super stereotypical New York. Like, they don't go see the big Christmas tree. It's there
at the beginning, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they don't, or like go skating or whatever.
They don't do any of that stuff. Yeah. Besides, they go to Tiffany's, which is... Yeah, this is a note that you have. Does she ever work? She cooks at home all the time.
Oh man, so okay, so she has a restaurant and a bakery that's in a Christmas market. Mm-hmm. And yet somehow she is home a lot. She cooks massive elaborate meals at home. She's out and about with the guy. I don't, like, if she was so young and running a restaurant and a bakery, she'd be working like at least 60 hours a week.
Yeah. And like I don't understand the restaurant because it looks like it's a bakery, but also they serve what looks like brunch all the time. And it's just, but they have a liquor license. And like, it was very confusing. And like the owners are serving and they're like, we're so busy. And I'm like, but why get a waitress? I don't understand. But whatever.
And I don't know, she kind of just like shows up and there's a market stall full of bread. And I'm like, how the bread?
Yeah, no, like how long has that been there? Like you're carrying like 3 boxes of stuff. Uh-huh.
It's very strange. They do like load a truck with bread, but then she just like goes to open the stall and it's full of bread. I'm like, yeah. So it's just, you know, the usual work thing.
Yeah. And that's another trope I have. Like, he comes and rescues her because she's very busy at the market and helps her work and they bond and it's very cute. But I'm like, why is she the only one there? Where is all this bread coming
Especially
from?
if you're a bakery that also sells like hot chocolate or whatever. You need 2 people.
You need at least 2 people. Like, everybody in this line is mad at her. And I'm like, it's the Christmas market and it's like Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve at this point.
Yeah.
Why don't you have another person working for you? And like when he goes back after to find her, there's also only one person working there. I'm like, why are you guys so poorly staffed?
So crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, it bothers me.
Crazy.
But they do have a random meet cute at the hospital because the daughter is concerned about the guy who got hit by the car, which is perfectly reasonable. So they go to the hospital and she is there and they start talking, and that part is really cute because they have a fun talk. The daughter is like super cute and like asks crazy questions, and she's has been up all night and is wearing like a sexy dress, and it's funny.
It's cute. I really liked the relationship between Rachel and the daughter. Like,
me too.
When they're doing the baking and they really sort of bond and like talk about their feelings and stuff.
Dead moms.
Their feelings about their dead moms and Christmas. And I really liked it. And it did, like, the kid...
Yes, she's a really good actor. And also
the kid
goes into this trope of he's a sad widow with a cute daughter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I also like that it's not, like, his first person that he's dating.
Yes, I agree.
As a widow.
He's sad when she asks specifically about it, but otherwise it's just he's a person who's, like, gone through all of the steps of moving on.
Yeah, like, he's already moved on enough to be considering proposing to somebody else. So, Yeah, the Breakfast at Tiffany's references and homages.
Yeah, it's cute. She just goes and does it, and it's very obvious, but still, like, you can't not do it in a movie that's called this. Yeah. So, and then that also leads to the precipice of, like, she goes in to ask about ring cleaning, and that's how she finds out. So it's also, like, important. She's not just, like, wandering around hitting New York landmarks in a montage.
No, exactly. Yeah, she's not just walking by Tiffany's coincidentally.
But also, like, again, she's also that person, like we said, she's so kooky and free-spirited, is that it's a thing that you believe that she would do. She would
except, like... So her restaurant's in Brooklyn, right?
No, that part's true. Her restaurant's
in
Little Italy.
In Queens. Little Italy. Is that... I don't know where that is.
Me either.
Oh, like Lower Manhattan. Oh, okay. So the restaurant's not actually that far from Bryant Park in, like, the big grand scheme of things.
Okay.
But then, I guess Tiffany's... I mean, I guess it's enough of a landmark that folks would go there anyways, but yeah. So yeah, like, it vaguely makes sense location-wise. Yeah. Oh, there's so much random singing. Like, they walk by...
like a doo-wop?
Like, 5-piece sort of barbershop-ish. thing. They're really good. And then there's also snow, and it's really romantic.
Yeah, it is really romantic.
And,
I'm like,
oh yeah, the swoon. Like, I was very swoony when they went to the sort of view part of the East River. Oh, it was so good.
So I wrote down falling in love quickly, but because it takes place over the the Christmas week, but I don't think it's not love or I think it's vibes, because he's not proposing, he's not saying I'm gonna move back for you, he's not none of that. It's kind of like she says something, she's like, there's something here, and then they have a kiss, and that's nice, and then then they get engaged a year later. So it's
his note to her that he puts in the flowers that he delivers to the restaurant are like, meet me here if you think there's something worth exploring, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's not I'm in love with you.
Yeah, it's not like So and he's not trying to pretend it's not him. It's like
I don't think it's not the trope that we're used to of like other especially Christmas movies, where it's like, we have to fall in love by Christmas Eve, or
we're dating different people on Christmas Eve, and we're engaged by New Year's Eve. to other people. But it's more of like, within this week we were like, we broke up with our fellow people and decided that we're going to move independently also from getting together with this new person, which I appreciate. Yeah, there's definitely some assorted montages in the movie, which obviously, because they're fun. It really is a montage.
So he gives her flowers, so there's like the big gesture, which then has a fun callback, because he talks about a boombox, and of course his daughter holding a boombox over his head, and of course his daughter doesn't know what a boombox is, and all of that stuff. And the like acapella quartet comes. To instead. So good. Yeah. And she does do some running, because she finds the note too late. She runs. She runs gets a cab, and then she gets out of the cab and runs more. But then it's kind of like anticlimactic. Like, they're not leaving. They're like 5 more minutes, and then he says okay, and then she's there. It's not like
they're not like walking
away or anything. So, but still running still counts. Running. And then they have a big kiss.
It's a really good kiss too.
It is. I'm into it.
Yeah, and then there's sort of time jump 1 year later, sort of ending scene, which is really great. Yeah. Okay. Lindsay, does this movie pass the Bechdel test?
Like, yes, but not as much as I want it to, for being 2022.
Yeah, like, so her and the daughter obviously have a really good relationship.
And also the daughter and the not fiance. Like, they do talk.
Yeah, they do stuff, and they have conversations.
Stuff.
Yeah. And then the Rachel and her best friend talk, but they do talk a lot about relationships, but they also talk a lot about just like work stuff.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. And
she has a friend.
Yeah, and her best friend's wife is also there a lot. And,
oh my god.
And it's so very funny. And so obviously, like, they talk. It's just,
yeah.
I think it's as we've said before, the job part is not consequential to the story. And so therefore they don't have a lot to talk about, even though they work together, except for the
because then the
love storyline.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah. So, and because it's like they're best friends and they know each other and they work together, so it's not like, oh, can you get me that report by 4? Like, there's not even that kind of job stuff.
No,
it's a little bit of like, we need more focaccia, but there's not.
Also, that was so funny. It's like, we don't need more focaccia. Stop being so avoidant.
But there's not any like big promotions, or I have to do this in order to get this job.
Like, obviously, for a movie that is about a man and a woman falling in love, it does a pretty good job on the Bechdel front.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make a pie. So funny. Okay, Tiffany's boxes.
Oh, hi. Because
that's the whole point of the movie.
The whole point of the movie.
55?
Yep, I agree. Because it's the whole thing. And, like, I understand that's the point of the movie, but also, like, you can wrap the blue boxes in Christmas paper. You don't have to leave them in the shopping bag.
I know, you just have to, like, pop out of your pocket. But maybe that was, like, in the licensing arrangement.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And then bread.
There's so much bread and so much discussion
and other
about
baked
bread.
goods.
Yeah.
But it is, like, plot relevant and kind of touching.
Yeah. 30? Yeah.
Maybe 30%? Yeah.
30 is good. And that leaves us with 15 for the East River, which is a nice... It's, again, like you were saying, they're not meeting at the Empire State Building. They don't even bring that up, or Central Park, or any of the big
it's like
things.
It's definitely a local New York place.
Thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what do we think is next for them?
I feel okay about it. Like, they were together for a year, and then we saw them get engaged, and so that seems nice. They are very adult about everything, even if she is kooky and free-spirited, but she's like, and they're bad at communicating, but they're not bad with their feelings. Like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. They're not, like, over dramatic. They just can't communicate. But maybe they got better with each other.
Maybe they can fix that. I don't know. I feel like their daughter will keep them honest on that front. Or the daughter. And Lindsay, what's next for us?
More holidays. So on the main feed, we have Single All the Way, which I haven't seen, so it's a fun flop.
Fun adventure. That'll be, just before Christmas Day.
Just before Christmas. And on the Patreon, we're doing a mashup crossover event with Whale Tales Watches. And Nicole and Will were doing Mystic Christmas, which will be interesting.
Yes.
Because it's a Hallmarky movie, but with seals.
With seals at, I'm assuming it's Mystic Aquarium.
Yeah, it must be. Because if it wasn't,
basically,
isn't it called Sealed with a Kiss?
Right, I was going to say, join us for much complaining about the bad title of this movie.
Yes. It took me forever to find it, because I was just searching Sealed for a Kiss. Ugh. Anyway.
Not that movie.
Rant about it a lot, but I'm sure it'll be full of exciting tropes and also aquarium issues and seal issues. Hooray! All of their favorite things.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this episode. You can always leave us a rating or a review wherever you get your podcasts, and you can also find us on social. We're at Charts and Hearts Podcast on Instagram and Threads.
You can head to our website, chartsandhearts.com, where you can submit your suggestions for rom-coms and tropes for us to add to the list. And you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/chartsandheartsclub. We've got lots of Christmas movies in our back catalog on the main feed and on the Patreon. So if you are feeling the need for more Christmas podcasts, check us out.
We've got many for you.
Yep.
Let us know your thoughts on this movie. And in the meantime, don't think so much about the best. Focus on the outcome.
Oh, that's nice.
It is. I need that advice today. Okay, bye.
Bye.